Top 10 bizarre Christian Bale movies. Number 10. Equilibrium. In a future where freedom is outlawed, outlaws will become heroes. In a futuristic world, a strict regime has eliminated war by suppressing emotions. Books, art, and music are strictly forbidden, and feeling is a crime punishable by death. Cleric John Preston, Bale, is a top-ranking government agent responsible for destroying those who resist the rules. When he misses a dose of prosium, the mind-altering drug that hinders emotion, Preston, who has been trained to enforce the strict laws of the new regime, suddenly becomes the only person capable of overthrowing it. Number 9. Swing Kids. In a world on the brink of war, you either march to one tune or dance to another. Kids all over the world and all through time want to rebel. Peter Muller, Robert Sean Leonard, and Thomas Berger, Christian Bale, are two such young men whose rebellion against the conformity of Nazi Germany took the form of a love of American swing music, British fashion, and Harlem slang. But when an innocent prank forces Peter into the Hitler Youth, their friendship and loyalties are put to the test against the seductive power of Nazism. Number 8. The Prestige. A friendship that became a rivalry that turned deadly. A mysterious story of two musicians whose intense rivalry leads them on a lifelong battle for supremacy, full of obsession, deceit, and jealousy, with dangerous and deadly consequences. From the time that they first meet as young magicians on the rise, Robert Angier and Alfred Borden were competitors. However, their friendly competition evolves into a bitter rivalry, making them fierce enemies for life, and consequently jeopardizing the lives of everyone around them, set against the backdrop of turn-of-the-century London. Number 7. Reign of Fire. Fight fire with fire. In present-day London, 12-year-old Quinn watches as his mother, a construction engineer, inadvertently wakes an enormous fire-breathing beast from its century-long slumber. 20 years later, much of the world has been scarred by the beast and its offspring. As a fire chief, Quinn is responsible for warding off the beasts and keeping a community alive as they eke out a meager existence. Into their midst comes a hotshot American, Van Zandt, who says he has a way to kill the beasts and save mankind, a way Quinn's never seen done. This film fuses a medieval past with a post-apocalyptic future in a tale of adventure and survival. Number 6. Velvet Goldmine. The Rise of a Star, the Fall of a Legend. 1971. Glam rock explodes all over the world and challenges the seriousness within the flower power generation by means of glitter and brutal music. Brian Slade, a young rock star, inspires numerous teenage boys and girls to paint their nails and explore their own sexuality. In the end, Slade destroys himself. Unable to escape the role he created for himself, he plots his own murder. When his fans discover that the murder is fake, his star falls and he is forgotten about. 1984. Arthur, a journalist working for a New York newspaper, gets assigned the story about the fake murder of Brian Slade. When Arthur was young and grew up in Manchester, he was more than a fan of Slade. Reluctantly, he accepts the assignment and starts to investigate what happened to his glam rock hero. Number 5. Batman Begins. Fear is your weapon. A young Bruce Wayne falls into a cave where he encounters a swarm of bats. Bruce develops a fear of bats and later urges his parents to leave an opera featuring bat-like creatures. Outside of the theater, Bruce Wayne's parents are both killed in a robbery by mugger Joe Chill. Bruce blames himself for his parents' murder. Had he not been frightened, the Waynes would not have encountered Chill. He is taken in by a mysterious instructor named Duckheart and urged to become a ninja in the League of Shadows, but he instead returns to his native Gotham City, resolved to end the mob rule that is strangling it. Number 4. Newsies. 1,000 voices, a single dream. In 1899, New York City got its news from an army of ragged orphans and runaways called Newsies. They sold the newspapers of Joseph Pulitzer, William Randolph Hearst, and other great publishers. Like many of his friends, newsie Jack Kelly, Christian Bale, dreams of a better life, far from the hardship of the streets. But when Pulitzer and Hearst raise the distribution prices at the Newsies' expense, Jack finds a cause to fight for, and must decide between his dreams and his newfound responsibility. Number 3. All the Little Animals. Of all the animals, the cruelest is man. Bobby Platt is a mentally slow young man who escapes an abusive, hateful stepfather who has killed his pets one by one. To save himself, Bobby runs away and meets a strange old man who wanders the highways to bury roadkill animals. Bobby becomes the old man's apprentice and learns to see the world of nature in a strange, idyllic way. But soon the shadow of his stepfather catches up to him, and Bobby's world explodes into a grotesque nightmare. Number 2. American Psycho. No introduction necessary. Patrick Bateman lives Wall Street by day, and his nights are spent in ways impossible to fathom. Christian Bale plays this soulless, modern monster whose zealous materialism and piercing envy fuels his homicidal activities. Number 1. The Machinist. How do you wake up from a nightmare when you're not asleep? Trevor Resnick is a lathe operator who suffers from insomnia and hasn't slept in a year. Slowly, he begins to doubt his own sanity as increasingly bizarre things start happening at work and at home. Haunted by a deformed co-worker who no one seems to think exists and an ongoing stream of indecipherable post-it notes he keeps finding on his fridge, he attempts to investigate what appears to be a mysterious plot against him and, in the process, embroils 2 women in his madness.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button in the top right. Our channel has loads of other awesome videos just like this.